I think the two biggest turnoffs with this subject of astrology is, one, people think it's stupid, like silly from the 70s, whatever.
Yeah.
Even though it's ancient.
Yeah, exactly. It's been around forever. Yeah. It's not going anywhere either. It's not like it's a fad or something.
It won't, because it's too accurate.
Exactly.
But and the other thing is that they're like, well, I don't. Just because I'm that sign, don't put me in a box. You know, people get really defensive about it, and I personally don't see it. I mean, to this day, when I sit down with someone and talk to them about their sign, I'm saying it based on what I know, like my information files or whatever in my brain, but I'm honestly not expecting that it's all accurate.
Right.
And so I might tell you, you're a Pisces, you're probably late all the time. You probably don't show up to anything on time. But in my mind, I'm thinking, Jeff could be really punctual, and I'm not just writing it off. And so, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a certainty, but I mean, more like
it's a tool. Is what
a probability. You have more of a probability of being this certain type and everything, and that can miss, but not necessarily.
Yeah, and even if you, let's say, I mean, that one's really silly because it's kind of shallow or whatever, but let's say that I do say that because I don't know you at all, and we're meeting for the first time. So I said, you're a Pisces, that makes you probably not very punctual, you're probably late to everything. And that opens up the opportunity for you to say, actually, I'm not.
Right.
And then we start talking about, oh, okay, well, your parents were, one was a Leo and one was a Taurus. So that's something that they really stressed, was you need to be punctual.
Right.
And so they taught you ways to just like show up early.
Yeah, exactly.
So that you were guaranteed not to be late. So look how much we said about something so small.
Right.
And just think about, there's endless topics of one's personality to bring up. It's just like, it ends up taking a while. It's usually a 3-hour process sitting down with someone, and that's just scraping the surface.
Right, yeah, that's just barely getting into it.
I think that's why I'm still in touch with everyone, is it's like questions are gonna come up.
It's a great I don't know, way to bring people together and everything, and it's a great discussion that never really gets old. There's so many different avenues with it and everything, for sure.
Yeah, and then I don't have to talk about my personal life or anything. I can, anytime I feel uncomfortable, I just turn on the astrology switch. Like, when's your birthday? Oh! And then we can talk for hours without actually being too personal. Maybe towards the person that I'm picking on, but I avoid a lot of social anxiety, I guess, by doing that.
Excellent.
And it's interesting, and you end up helping people.
Yeah, so. I mean, in my experience, you're very accurate. I've told many people about how accurate you are, and how eerily accurate at times it can be.
I always feel bad whenever someone sends me a text back from the horoscope, or when I'm sitting with someone, and a lot of times people get really quiet whenever I'm being really accurate, and then I always think, oh, they don't like this, they're bored, and I need to change the subject. That's always my initial reaction, but then it kind of comes out like, well, that was just, you hit on something that's
spookily accurate.
Yeah, and then I feel weird. I'm like, well, I don't stop you. I'm not watching. But at the same time, it's cool because, I mean, as a Pisces, I need to be reassured.
Right.
One of our traits as fish, we're vulnerable and we're not sure of ourselves. And so, when people tell me that, it's good. It's very needed because even though I'm confident in what I do, I know that I'm good at this. I still need people to tell me, hey, that was accurate.
Yeah.
Because if I don't hear anything back for like a week, I'll ask the question, like, are my horoscopes shitty now or what?
Exactly.
That's good. There's a bunch of people here now. It's cool. I just realized. That's cool. I'm glad kids still play at the park,
Yeah. It's awesome. Well, I'm not sure exactly how long these videos can be, so we should probably start wrapping it up.
Yeah.
But there was one other thing I thought would be interesting to ask you about. As far as I know, don't you have an interest in boxing as well?
I I do.
And I just
yeah.
think that's cool. And I thought that'd be a nice juxtaposition to jump from astrology to boxing.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I blame that on the other half of my chart all being in Aries. So I'm a Pisces, but I definitely have a strong Aries influence. And I don't know anything about any sports except boxing.
Right.
I love boxing. And yeah, it's.
Have you always?
No, Freddie showed it to me, and he's a boxer, and so it wasn't just being shown the sport. I actually got to experience it.
Right.
And
insider's knowledge.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a very complex sport, in my opinion, and
definitely.
Of course it is sort of, I guess, for lack of a better word, dying right now, especially because MMA, I know, it's a big thing, but I'll never convert, ever.
No, they're not the same.
They're not the same. I think they're comparable, but they're not the same at all.